Hello everyone. I want to talk to you about my 5.1 system. I played Frankenstein on the Frankenstein skit at the Halloween party, Haunted Barn. My Frankenstein skit did a little magic trick there, and I wanted the song from Edgar Winter's Frankenstein to be playing. Way back, I think '69 it maybe started. It was called Quadraphonic. And I remember my older brother telling me that, like Frankenstein, it would go from one speaker to another, to another, to another. You know, it could go all the way around the room. So I wanted to try to reproduce that. And I worked on it. I tried different ways, but it just came down to you had to have a quadraphonic system. I got the quadraphonic recording album of Edgar Winter, but then you was going to need the quadraphonic turntable to play it, the quadraphonic receiver. So the more I looked, a lot I heard about a 5.1 system is the closest thing you're going to get to quadraphonic. But even then, if you play a song from MP3 or a wave form, it's got to be recorded in 5.1 or you're still not going to get it, and you're still not going to get it unless the person producing the song separates, because they already have the drums separated, so then they can make it go from the left channel to the right, to the front left, to the rear right, or something, you know. But in my working, I finally found a way, and I got it to work, and I'm going to explain to you how I went about and did that. So we're going to start with, it all starts with the recording. So I took the song Frankenstein and I put it in my editors. And like I said, I tried Adobe Premiere, and it had a 5.1 setting there, but it was grayed out. So I'm not sure how I was to use that. But eventually I went to Corel Video, and it had a 5.1 system in it, which I'll show you. So once you got the recording and the 5.1 set up, and you can move it in Corel, you can move it to whatever speaker you want it to come out of. Then it comes to the DVD player. So the DVD player, you had to come out by HDMI, because HDMI will keep it split. We'll keep it split into 5.1 channels, into 4 separate channels there. So then from the from the DVD player down the HDMI, the key component for me was this. It was a converter, or decoder, I mean. HDMI to HDMI audio decoder. So I could go in with HDMI, but yet I could come out with all the different separate, you know, front left, front right, surround left, surround right, the center, and then the SW, and I did not use the center speaker. This is the decoder I had bought like in 2015. I couldn't find it anymore, but if you look at the price and this other one I found on the internet, the two are close to being the same. I think this one here would work also. So from there, these are outputs. They would go out, and then they would go to my 5.1 system. This 5.1 system, this is the one I bought. This is the important part, I feel, of it. It's 5 discrete independent channels, input and output, for true surround sound. What is discrete? Discrete, apart or detached from others, separated, distinct, 6 discrete parts or individual parts. Alright, this is that 5.1 system right here. And this is what they mean by discrete. So these are outputs. Here's auxiliary, but that would be just stereo. So these 3 and these 3 have each SR, SL, center, the subwoofer, FR, and FL. So you have to have a DVD player that's got the same thing that can go to each one, and it keeps each channel totally separate. So here they would go on in the inputs: front left, front right, surround left, surround right. And then once they went in there, then they would come out to the front left, front right, surround right, and surround left. They would go out to the individual speakers. And that's what kept my sound separate. This is the 5.1 system I got. It is 700 watts of total power, which with 5 speakers, that would be 140 watts per speaker. I did not use the center speaker. I'm only using the 4 speakers there. But for my party, I did not even use these 4 little speakers. I actually hooked up to these speakers. These are my older ones. They're bigger, and this system handled them and was able to put out the music. But I had to make special cables for them. So I got these connections. I think they're like an RCA connector, and then I hooked them up to some speaker wires. And then that would go, this side here would hook to the speakers. This side hooked into the back of my HD 5.1 system, hooked into the back of my 5.1 system. So see, this one was 40 foot long. These 2 are 25, and that's a 40 footer. So I was able to put them all 4 spread out inside that barn. And this 5.1 system was able to handle it. Another thing is, if your DVD you create has any video and you put a menu on it, like I end up doing, which if it would just play as soon as you stuck it in, then you could pause it and it'd be set to go. You might need to hook up a monitor. I was able to get mine playing just by hitting enter a couple times. So it starts with the CD, then it goes to the DVD player, which is still outputting it 5.1. It goes through the HDMI cable, which keeps it at 5.1, and then it goes through the decoder, but also separates it into discrete channels. Then it goes through all the RCAs, which is all 4 separate lines, and then it goes into my 5.1 system, which go out to each speaker, or all 4 speakers. Just depends how it was recorded. So I click that. That brings up the video and audio tracks. You can see them both. And then I come over here and I would click on this, which pulls up the sound, the audio, the 5.1. Right here is the 5.1. Now, you could press this play button, but that's not going to play the 5.1 system. You got to press this one, and then it starts playing. Make sure this music symbol's on. I put 3 crow calls at the beginning because my music had to start right on time with my actor. And now you're ready to grab hold of that blue dot in the center here and move it around as the song's playing. So there's the blue dot. Watch it, it goes around. I moved it to whatever speaker I wanted the sound to come out of. Sometimes I got a little quick. Then we go and click on Share to create a DVD. I added photographs with my audio track, and that way I knew the thing was playing. This is the important part. Make sure you have the 3/2. You got the left, the center, the right, the SL, and the SR. You can put a menu with it, which I did, and maybe because Corel makes you put a menu, I don't know, but I was able to get past it when I went to play the DVD. And that's it. Once you burn your DVD, you're ready. Okay, here I'm going to sit in the middle of my speakers, and as the music plays, I'm going to point to the speaker that I hear the sound coming out of. Now, because I'm recording this on a video camera, the video camera is going to record in stereo. So you're not going to be able to tell the music moving from one speaker to the next. The only thing is you might hear a little bit of a sound difference just because the music's coming out of only one speaker. If I do this, it's coming out of all the speakers. So you have to watch the blue dot and me in the center. On this one, I made a mistake. I must have mixed up actually it's the front 2 speakers that's in front of me. I must have them mixed up because as you'll notice, as the blue dot goes one way, I point to the opposite. So I had to do it over again. This time I had it right. I made sure my speakers were plugged in the right ones. The only thing is, my cousin said it was hard for him to watch the blue dot and me at the same time. So I decided then I would superimpose the chorale video over top of me as I'm doing it. And that way they're both right in front of you. You should be able to see it. I won't play through the whole song, but that gives you the idea. That was hard. Oh, that is hard. love it. I love it. It was great when it worked for me.